Hey, welcome back to Fat Boys Anime Podcast. We're out here on a beautiful Saturday morning. We're about to hit y'all with some Dragon Ball Z and Digimon knowledge. All right, so get ready for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Woo!
Come on,
Man,
man.
put some respect on Digimon.
It's like
Man,
what Nick says, man. Bring you that fat boy energy. Come on now.
we started out the gates. Y'all were hating on Digimon first episode. I'm glad to
Remember,
see my boys
remember,
getting some respect today.
remember when we tricked Tyler that Digimon wasn't an anime and he went with it? He fell for it. He's like, hey, wait, it wasn't?
Man, I had
Gotcha.
a lapse in judgment. I was trying to remember. Is it like Beyblade? Is it a cartoon? No, it was. It's a full blown anime. You know what? Yeah, it's been whitewashed a little bit, but that's all right. That's all right. We like ourselves a little War Greymon and Garurumon. Let's get it.
Sir, I'm excited, man. Come on, Digimon's one of the OGs. Dragon Ball Z definitely OG, especially for animes in America, man. I mean, how do we not talk about these two? Obvious discussion.
I mean, basically, two of the most influential animes probably from the '90s into like the late 2000s. I would say
Oh,
definitely.
easy, man, easy. So I'm excited. I mean, we're gonna see who's everyone's favorite Digimon. Who's their favorite. Who's the strongest Digimon too. I think we should talk about that a little bit, and then get into some Dragon Ball Z. I mean, maybe one of the GOAT animes, maybe the GOAT anime. Maybe not the best anime as far as just storyline. I'd be the first to admit it, but as far as like just having an emotional connection to everyone growing up as a kid, and like that might it's up there on my list. But I mean, come on, boys, let's get it.
I mean, when people try to hate on Dragon Ball Z, I feel like they're trying to hate on Michael Jordan. I'm like, dude, I don't care if LeBron puts up more points than Michael Jordan. You already know what it is.
Yep.
If it wasn't for Dragon Ball Z, we wouldn't have had the foundation for what anime is today.
I
It's
think
kind of like listening to OG hip hop, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Some of the greats from the originals, okay, maybe they didn't have the beats, the best beats or transitions, but they still laid that foundation for what we got.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Z is like the boys in the hood almost, especially like for being in America. You know what I mean? Like they came in hot and they're like, this is like the anime that got everyone. This is what really put anime, on the map in America and got everyone interested. Now, is it the greatest? Who's the greatest rapper of all time? It's definitely not those guys. You know what I mean? So there's definitely better anime out there, but come on now. It needs respect. Digimon. I love Digimon, man, but I ain't over here like Tyler, man, hyping it up unnecessarily. You know what I mean?
Digimon's like the Beastie Boys. Are they the best? No, but you got to respect them for what they are. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't
these
even
are
know how to sing, but somehow they got popular. They're
yeah.
just like the ugly stepchild.
These are just two animes that probably hit, to our hearts, especially on an emotional level for me, because like I said, growing up with these were probably, some of the two biggest ones, along with like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon that we talked about last time. So it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna bring up good memories, bring up some old pastimes. I'm excited.
I don't even know how to get into this. I feel like this could be like a 6 hour podcast right now because each one on its own, there's so much to go into.
I'd say I think we're just gonna kind of hit the bare surface, let everyone know who our favorite characters are, type of deal. Go into like some of our favorite arcs. But man, if we ever, and we'll let the people decide if they ever want us to get in a hardcore depth discussion about Dragon Ball Z or Digimon, maybe a certain arc. Maybe we gotta talk about Goku transforming Super Saiyan the very first time. You know what I mean? Because we could talk about that and that whole epic, Frieza fight for probably like 10 episodes.
I mean, it
We'll,
was
we'll play it, man.
they literally had a whole season dedicated to Goku fighting Frieza. That was the
Exactly.
entire season 3 of Dragon Ball Z. I mean,
Yeah.
But they also
Exactly.
had a whole arc of Goku just running on that path to get.
oh my gosh.
It's fun, man. So I mean, what do
Yeah.
we got going on first today, Tyler?
All right, we're gonna get y'all into some Twitter polls before we hit you with the real sauce. So this is the appetizer. This is
Oh,
this is like the fried dumplings at PF Chang's. Let's go, baby.
ooh, you always got to start off with that appetizer, man. Come on, coming in hot today.
All right, get your soy sauce ready. So the first Twitter,
Low sodium soy sauce.
yeah, low sodium. Hey, we take care of our health out here at Fat
Tyler
Boys.
just drizzles water on his rice.
Yeah, I just sprinkle some lemon juice. All right, so our Twitter poll was, "What is the best anime rivalry?" All right, now if you don't think any of these four are it, that's cool. But on Twitter, you can only choose four. So this is what we got. We had number one, Naruto and Sasuke.
Ooh,
Classic.
okay. Uh-huh.
Number two, Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Number three, Deku and Bakugo.
Okay. Okay. I know
All
what Nick's
right.
speaking.
He's like, no, they're a duo. They're a duo. And then number four, I think I kind of went wrong on number four, but Asta and Yuno.
Might be a little early, but that's actually not bad at all. If you think about all those that you put up there, they all make each other better by just being around each other and trying to get stronger. So, I think that's a pretty damn good poll. All right,
And
I guess. Go ahead.
what y'all had to guess? What do you think? What do you think the results were? Like, who would y'all have gone with?
Hmm. Where do you think, Nick?
Just based on what people like, you got to say probably Naruto. Although I'm thinking a lot more about that last pick, Asta. They're both shooting to be Wizard King, right?
Yeah.
That could be really interesting in the future how that goes down. Like, are they going to end up hating each other? Are they going to be like joint kings? I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. So my thinking, I eliminate kind of two right off the bat just because it's like it's still early on for them. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
being Deku and Bakugo, they have a lot of time, but man, that's cracking up to be a rivalry that kind of that mirrors Vegeta and Goku type of deal, and then Asta and you know what I mean. Those are still early on in those animes, but I mean especially with this new power up that's coming up in Black Clover. You know what I mean? You're like, you know
Yeah.
what? They're both right there, so you're gonna see a crazy power up
Ooh.
with those two. So, but I'm early on. I'm eliminating those two.
Yeah.
I think who finished number one on the poll? I bet you it has to be Sasuke and Naruto. If I'm picking Goku and Vegeta though as the best rivalry, hands down.
What do you say, Nick?
Yeah, I'm saying Sasuke and Naruto.
Saying Sasuke and
When we
Naruto.
mix old school with new school, it's hard to pick new school.
Yeah. What do you is that who you think is that's who you think is gonna win? But is that your who your vote goes to as well too?
No. My vote's got to go Bakugo, right?
I told you guys. I told you guys. So Goku and Vegeta, man, and it's honestly kind of been, and maybe this is why I think Naruto and Sasuke could win, but Goku and Vegeta has always been like really one-sided, right? Like Vegeta definitely looks at Goku and gets crazy, insanely motivated to achieve the next level. He sees Goku become Super Saiyan. This fool dips out outer space and trains right on a whole different planet by himself just to reach that next level. Sees Goku or sees Gohan get to Super Saiyan 2. He has to go insane and train too. When he sees Goku, notices Goku trains Super Saiyan or achieves Super Saiyan 3. What does he do? This man goes wild and trains as well too. You kind of don't really see that the other way, but I think that's what makes it such a great rivalry. Goku in general just wants to get strong. It's not necessarily him seeing Vegeta and being like, "Oh yeah, I need to get stronger." You know what I mean? Whereas to Naruto and Sasuke, you kind of get that. Like Sasuke sees Naruto how strong he's getting, and he's like, "Nah, I need to be better than this guy," and vice versa. Naruto's like, "Damn, Sasuke is strong as hell. I need to get stronger so I can bring this fool back." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I personally want to vote Goku and Vegeta, but I think Naruto and Sasuke wins.
All right. So let's see. I would say this is pretty deserving. Asta and Yuno came in at 14%. I think they will be one of the bigger rivalries, but yeah, it's kind of early on. This is where the Twitter poll just went wrong. This is I don't know what to say about this, but Goku and Vegeta came in at third place with 25%.
Okay.
And I think the kids, they just, maybe this episode today will incite them to go back and do a little more research. But nonetheless, in second place was Deku and Bakugo at 28%. And Yeah, I guess this was to be expected. Yeah, Naruto and Sasuke with 33%, number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Fully expected.
deserving too. Those two deserve it. I mean, that was definitely a huge rivalry between those guys. One of my favorite scenes back in Naruto is remember when Sasuke heals up after getting his butt whipped, and him and Naruto fight on top of the hospital, and they're doing Chidori versus Rasengan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And Kakashi comes in and breaks it out, and then you see like the water cans are destroyed, and then Sasuke thought he won, and then he hops over the fence, and then he sees the backside of Naruto, and it's just exploded, just like destroyed. And this dude's like all pissed, but then that like strives him to get stronger though. So I can't argue about that at all, not at all.
Yeah, the whole before they get into Shippuden is basically just like 200 episodes plus of Sasuke being disappointed that Naruto is just better.
Yeah, it really is. Honestly, Naruto struggles to catch Sasuke, and then once he does, he never looks back. That's probably highly debatable too. We'll see.
What one of these days, yeah, we'll have to do a big Naruto deep dive and I know Nick will have a lot to say about this, but what we
Yeah.
really think about that series as a whole.
Right. Well, that'll be probably coming up soon, I would imagine. But what else we got today?
All right, okay. This Twitter poll said who was the best double agent in anime. All right, so this is an anime character that you
Mm.
thought was either a villain or a hero, and they flipped the switch on you like that Drake TikTok. Like
I
I
have
was
one in mind. If you didn't
Yeah,
put
I
it
got
on
one in
the
mind
other
too. Do you want to
okay.
say yours first? See if it shows up.
mine has to be Itachi right now. That's what I'm thinking.
Itachi.
Yeah, that he's like hands down. Maybe just because he's like one of my favorite characters of all time, but he has to be number one for me.
Or what were you gonna say, Nick?
If I'm thinking, it has to be in terms of how they reveal it in the show too, right?
Ah, that's true.
So who's the dude with the eye patch in Full Metal Brotherhood?
Oh, King Bradley.
Yeah, King Bradley. That's who I'm thinking of.
Okay, that's a good one too.
Yeah, good pick, boys, because they're both in the
Yeah.
conversation.
All
Let's
right.
get it.
We're all
All
thinking the
right.
same.
So our options for this Twitter poll were number one, of course, Itachi.
Well, put respect
Uchiha.
on it. Put respect on it.
Put respect on our
Mhm.
boy.
Mhm.
Number two, Rainer Braun from Attack on
Oh,
Titan.
Yeah, I can
okay.
Oh
see that.
man.
I
Yeah.
like that one.
He said, you want to get a beer? Nah, I'm the armored Titan. Give me those nuts, boy.
That
Number
one might have the most epic reveal. That might be the
That's true.
most
That's
epic
true.
reveal where they just like flip the switch.
Boom,
Him and
transforms.
Bertolt. Yeah, exactly.
bro, especially when Rainer, he just casually tells Aaron, he's like, I'm the armored Titan. And you see Costa just walking the other way. You're like, whoa, wait, what did this guy just say?
Yeah, that's true.
All right, number three was King Bradley,
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood.
Okay.
And then number four was Aizen, Lord Aizen from Bleach.
Aizen. Okay. Hey, that one's pretty. Aizen's a good one. I didn't even think about that. I honestly forgot about that, man. Talk about someone who insanely flipped the switch because this dude is just like kind of like a casual like captain, right? Like no one's like, oh yeah, he's really strong, nothing crazy. To coming in to being like the strongest, maybe the strongest villain, right? I mean, probably currently that we've seen in Bleach as far as the anime goes, the strongest villain. That's a solid one.
Because he's
That's
even pretty sociopathic. Because he changes
exactly.
his entire personality once he flips it, right?
Yep. Yep. He goes wild. As far as who I'm picking, I gotta pick my boy still. I just, like I said, he's one of my favorite characters in anime of all time. That's probably why I'm picking him. What do I think the people picked? I bet you the people picked Reiner, huh? They picked Reiner on Twitter. I'm trying to understand these people voting, man, but that's who they picked. They picked Reiner.
Nate,
Wait.
Itachi got first, Reiner got second, you said?
I personally pick Itachi has the best kind of double agent, but then I picked that the polls showed Reiner as like the better one.
Is that what you're going with as well, Nick?
No, Itachi.
Dang, all right, all right.
You think Itachi wins both ways? That's who your pick is, and that's who's winning.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got? Let's see it.
All right. So, I would say that people, they actually did pretty good on this poll. A lot better than the last poll. So, number four, Eisen came in with 13%. I'd say that's pretty accurate. I mean, Eisen was cool, but maybe he didn't have the same shock and awe as some of these other guys.
Yeah.
King Bradley came in third place with 20%. King, I mean, yeah, pretty surprising, but I mean, Rainer and Itachi by far were two of the most insane. Rainer came in at 27% Attack on Titan, and our boy hit the Amaterasu. Yeah, 40%. Let's go.
40 makes sense, man. Reiner, like I said, that whole like when they actually showed in the anime when Reiner, flipped the switch. Whoo, that was insane, man. That was epic too. You have both these guys turn into like huge titans, but you had more of an emotional attachment to Itachi too. And when that was revealed, man, that broke hearts. Like, let's be real, man. Everyone's heart just kind of like shattered a little bit because I remember like the whole progression through the show. Like, I remember when they first introduced Itachi, I was like, oh, this dude's gonna be a main villain. They kind of get you hating him a little bit. Like, he's after Naruto, trying to capture him. And then like it progresses more, and then you're like, oh, we're gonna get that like Sasuke and Itachi fight, and then they just flip the switch on you and be like, this boy has been doing it for the village the whole time. He was forced to wipe out his family, man. Come on now. Forced to do it.
Gosh.
For the good of the village, right? To protect his little brother. And then over there, man, has to essentially let his brother kill him, just to make everything, perfect and right in the world, considering that what the Leaf Village made him do. Oh man. Of course it was Itachi. That's my boy.
I mean, I think my favorite Itachi moment is when Sasuke honestly thinks he's going to take down Itachi with his little weak Chidori, and Itachi just snaps his wrist. He's like, "You don't have enough hate in your heart yet, boy."
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Hey, let's not forget though, like before that, when Asuma and Kurenai were trying to scrap with him and Kisame, and this dude just Kurenai boom boom does her jutsu trying to get him into Genjutsu, and this fool just flips the switch on her on this, and it's just like, child, please, not even close, man. Genjutsu like that does not work on me. What the hell are you thinking, man? You seriously gonna try me like that?
Oh gosh.
Well, that might be one of the most. I don't know who's more disrespectful in that moment. Kurenai thinking she could get him on that, or Itachi just flipping the switch and just being like, "Bro, get this child's play out of here, man. Get out of here."
Yeah, that was like bringing a butter knife to a gunfight. Like, girl, you better call in some support. You ain't getting him with that.
Right.
All right.
So what are the results? Did we have a percentage? What was it? What'd you say again?
Oh, so Itachi he won first with 40%.
40%. Okay.
Gotcha.
A decent amount probably then.
All right. Y'all ready for this last Twitter poll?
All right. What you got?
Let's get it. So our Twitter poll was, who's going to bring the most heat in 2021? All right. So these are exclusive seasons that aren't going to be eclipsing into 2022. So we've got option number 1, Seven Deadly Sins, season 4. All right. Man, a lot of people hating on my Seven Deadly Sins. Doctor, season 3, it did kind of suck. We'll get into that at another time. Dr. Stone was option number 2 for season 2. Our boy Senku. Option number 3 was what is this going to be? Season 5 of My Hero Academia?
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think so.
Something like that. And then option number 4 was season 2 of The Promised Neverland.
Ooh, this guy's coming in hot with some bangers. Shoot. Go ahead, Nick. Take this one first. I'm trying to think which one I'm looking forward to the most, because it's like, honestly, I'm looking forward to all of them.
So on the anime subreddit, I think I see the most hype for Promised Neverland, even though I haven't watched it yet. Some of the other ones, I don't even know if they'll release on time.
That's true.
So I don't know if we can. I want to get hyped for those yet, because if they don't release on time, then what's the point?
Right.
That's true.
I think Promise Neverland is probably going to be. I bet you Promise Neverland finished first on your poll. The one I'm looking forward to the most. You know what? I think I'm looking forward to the most is Promise Neverland as well too, man. Talk about because it's not like with My Hero, it'd be easy for me to say My Hero, but like I mean, that's a long story. That's a journey we're going on with those guys. Promise
Yeah.
Neverland is going to get into some. It's going to get into some knee deep stuff here this season, so I'm excited about that. So I've got to go Promise Neverland, but I think My Hero is more popular, so I think My Hero is going to win.
All right, let's see. So, um, this show, I really love this show, but they heavily disappointed me in season 3. Seven Deadly Sins came in at 4th place with 11%.
It's gonna get better though. Don't worry.
I think they'll redeem themselves. I've got high hopes for them in this final season.
They will.
Dr. Stone came in 3rd place with 16%. And I think Dr. Stone does have a lot of hype, but it's just because of these other 2 shows that just didn't have enough heat.
Exactly.
2nd place was The Promised Neverland with 31%.
Okay.
And then 1st place, My Hero Academia, 42% with Midoriya and Kachan.
Not surprised at all. I think My Hero's by far way more popular than all those. Looking to Promise Neverland a little more. Though Dr. Stone, I might be, I think me personally, I think I'm going to like Dr. Stone more than all 3 of those by the end of this year. But, I mean, those are good results, man. Those are some tough ones to pick between 2.
And I think My Hero, they're gonna get into the Dobby situation, right? This season finally. We're about to see who our boy Dobby really is. If y'all haven't read the manga, let's just say, I haven't read the manga either.
I was about to say,
I'm sorry. I try to front out here like I read mangas. No, I just know from spoilers who Dobby really is.
This guy is such a cheater. This is why. Don't you guys got some news about spoilers, right? They're trying to crack down on that stuff, right? But this is why spoilers need to be reduced. Look at this cheater over here. I'm over here grinding, putting the hours in, reading the manga, man, all hyped where it's at, and then this guy's knows the same stuff that I do by just reading spoilers. What a turkey.
You're the same dude that used to put card sharks into his N64 to get all the cheat codes and stuff.
Right? Yep. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, give me infinite ammo, invincibility, all guns, all skins. Let's get it.
Which one we get into first? What are we gonna start talking about?
Should we start off with Digimon so we can save the best for last? What do y'all think?
All right.
Might as well. Let's get into that Digimon. Let's do it. As you guys know, this is by far Tyler's most favorite anime in the world. Have you listened on some of the other podcasts? This dude thinks that somehow we are highly disrespecting this, but I don't think we are, man. I love Digimon. So respect on it. Talk about an anime that has delivered as far as video games go, just like toys in general, and then little mobile. What was that little shaker one that you used to have too? Do you guys remember what that was called? It was another game too, but I can't remember what it was.
Beyblade?
No, it was like a little device, and you'd walk or shake it a little bit, and then you'd run into Digimon and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Tamagotchi, but it was for Digimon.
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember I don't know what the specific name was to it, but that thing was legit back in the day.
Yeah,
it was like a real ghetto Pokemon Go. Like you have to.
That's like what the equivalence was. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, for real.
Well, you had to point it at. You had to point it at barcodes, right? Like you'd have to point it at a barcode on a cereal box at Walmart, and Greymon would come out and light you on fire.
I just pictured Tyler over there scanning every single barcode or something like that. Oh shoot! So how far? I know there's been a lot of new Digimons too. How far did you guys watch in it? Did you guys just watch the OG cast and that was it, or did you guys make it any further than that, like to Tamers or even further behind than that?
I did the original Digimon Adventure, and then they had a new one released April 2020, which
Yep.
basically modernized Digimon Adventures. So I just binged that one over the summer too.
So was it the same? Is it because I was wondering about that anime? Is it essentially just remastered? Is it the same exact anime but just remastered, like better animation and stuff, or different story?
It's similar story. They changed some of the stuff, like some of the stuff about summer camp they took out. But it's essentially the same story and same characters. They still focus on teamwork a lot and all that.
Are they still? I guess I should ask. Are they still younger, or they have they like grown up or something? How did they
No,
do
this
that?
is this is almost par for par repeat of the original Digimon adventure.
Okay, nice. So what
What would
about
you
you,
watch that
Tyler?
on? Okay, so I watched the original Digimon Adventures season 1 and 2. The second season is where it's kind of the same characters, but you have Ty's younger sister. She is kind of now the one of the main chicks. And then season 3, which was Tamers. Tamers was legit. I think Tamers might low key be one of the best. And then see, I watched season 4. Season 4 was when I kind of started getting off because Digimon Frontier, in my opinion, really sucked. It was some cheeks,
Some
but
booty.
you know, yeah, it was straight booty. Like they had 3 characters, but the Digimon world was falling apart. I mean, it was
Yeah.
it was just kind of whack. I don't know. In my opinion, it was a little weak.
So I kind of like you. I didn't get that far, but I got up to Tamers is when I stopped watching Digimon after that. For me, Tamers, I wasn't sold like on the actual humans, right? I wasn't sold on them, but I was hyped
Yeah,
about the Digimon themselves and some of the scraps they got into. But Digimon Adventure, the OG cast, the original anime, right before when they brought where Matt and Ty's, younger siblings kind of take over, has like some of the main characters before those guys come in.
yeah.
That one wasn't bad. Like Vmon was a pretty cool dude still. Like the Vmon was a legit Pokemon, but I just kind of lost somewhat interest in that. But Agumon, Gabumon, those two right there, hands down, those are the best Digimon for me.
So out of the OG starters, who would you pick as your partner?
Ooh, Tyler, who you got? Tyler's picking Agumon, huh?
Yeah.
I gotta get Agumon, bro. Greymon to Metal Greymon to War Greymon. Just out here clapping cheeks. You don't want to mess with no War Greymon, bro.
And as a
Oh
kid,
man.
every time seeing those Digi evolutions, because they show the full animation almost every time, right? But you still get hyped every single time they go through those.
Exactly. I was a Gabumon, because specifically more Gabumon than Agumon because I liked Matt a little better than Ty. That my boy, I ride and die with Matt. So I mean, come on, kind of like what Tyler's saying, the Gabumon to Garurumon to what was it? Where
Yeah,
Garurumon to
where
Metal
Garurumon?
Garurumon? There's too
Let's
many
go.
Arurus in there, man. Keep running out words.
And I think that's where
Garurumon.
Digimon jacked up is like they made the names too similar, so it was a little hard to remember at times.
Some
Like,
of the names were kind of whack that they did on
yeah,
some of the
Yeah,
Digimon.
because then what's
Like with
they have like the combination one with Gabumon and Agumon where they fuse into that like robot thing. What is that one? You know what I'm talking about?
Gabumon and Agumon.
uh,
Oh, when they're evolved, like when War Greymon fuse and Metal
Yeah,
what is it
Garurumon
called?
fuse. Uh,
yeah.
uh, oh, I'm blanking on it, man. We just talked
Oh
about this like not too
man,
long ago. Tyler, remember?
wasn't it like
Omnimon,
yeah,
Omnimon,
Omnimon,
right? That dude
bro?
was legit.
Omnimon was gangster. He's got the sword in one hand, the Garurumon blaster in the left hand. He's got a cape. I mean, he was swaggy.
But I think that just shows where they're messing up. Like they didn't make the names original enough to make characters stand out.
So I hate to hate on anyone specific, but Sora's Digimon specifically, right? You know that like flaming bird one, but like Birdramon, like that doesn't do it for me. Garudamon, like it's just that one kind of gets somewhat cooler, but and that's just not like too original, like Phoenixmon. Like okay, I see what you're doing, but
Yeah,
come on now. Birdamon, come on. I used to hate when that one would Digivolve because it was kind of ugly looking. I'm like, at least
yeah.
throw like one of the main chicks, like like a cuter looking Digimon, like something. You know what I mean? But They
The
kind
Yeah,
of
what
look
was
cool the way
that?
Palamon's
they
pretty
put it.
legit though.
Yeah, they are.
The plant one
Who's your
that
guy? Yeah, I was gonna about
transforms
that.
into like the cactus needle with the
Yeah,
boxing
with
gloves.
Yeah,
boxing gloves.
that one's sick. I was about to ask you guys, who's your favorite like evolved form Digimon? Like, do you still stick with Agumon, his evolved form, Tyler, or do you have someone else?
Um, they never showed it, but Gabu Terrymon, the bug one, he had a really cool
Yeah,
mega level. It was like a
The
Hercule Gabu
Hercules one or
Terrymon.
whatever.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
that's what I'm saying, man. That dude was legit. You know who had a pretty cool like just a like who evolved had a pretty cool just like linear evolutions was Vmon, which I forget the
Yeah.
dude's name. Who I forget his trainer's name. It's just blanking by me, but his dudes look pretty sick. You know what I mean? They kind of kept it simple with him too, where it's like this little dinosaur like Vmon just evolved into like a taller, same looking one. But then he gets
A
yoked and he
chat.
gets jacked and like all armor on him. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
that's kind of sick right there.
I thought that
What
was
about
pretty
you,
funny
Nick?
with Gomamon too. He's like
Go,
that
but
seal
what?
looking dude, and then he eventually
Oh
evolves
yeah.
into like a buff human, but with a seal head still. I don't know what his name is,
Yeah.
but
You know who just went from 0 to like 100 is TK's Digimon and what's Ty sister's name again? So Patamon
Um,
went freaking insane
when he goes into
and
Angemon.
Angemon and then he has like 100. I feel like this dude has like 100 like evolution. He goes like Angemon, Magna Angemon who was legit and this dude looks just like a freaking warrior, man. Serafimon, like Serafimon just looks mad, like he's just insane. Like you talk about this one that looks all lame, and this dude just turns into a human looking jacked with armor on. You're like, oh my goodness, that dude's legit. And then what was what's Ty's sister's name again? It's bothering me.
Uh, I just call her Ty's sister.
Oh, Kari. Is it
Yeah,
Kari?
Kari.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kari with the little cat. But she has an insane one, right? I don't even know how to say it. A Afanimon, kind of like the girl version though of Patamon's version. You're like, man, these dudes just evolve into like angels, man. They evolve into like angels, and you're like, what the heck? How does that work? How does a cat get to that? Like that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, some of the evolutions, it would like a duck would turn into the Terminator or something. You'd be like, I don't know. It just doesn't really make much sense. But
at what point is it too much? Because it's the same problem I had with Digimon as with Dragon Ball. It's like, okay, this is my final form. No, just kidding. I got another evolution. Just kidding. I can transform again.
Yeah,
At some point, you got to be like, okay, this is it. This is actually it.
that's why I probably lost somewhat interest into Dragon Ball Super because they just did that on a whole new level. You're like, well, we got
yeah,
Dragon Ball Super like Ultra Instinct, and then we got Dragon Ball Super God, and then we got God but with like red hair instead of blue. Like it was just getting a little much. We're like,
Yeah,
just
Rose
keep it
mode,
simple.
Berserker
I'd rather
mode.
have I'd
yeah.
rather have Super
P90X
Saiyan
mode.
5. Exactly, but to me, I don't know how they did it with like future animes, but there were some of them you're like, okay, I don't think they're gonna evolve anymore, and then they just kept like with Matt and Ty specifically, you're like, oh, they keep going, and next thing you know, they're like, doing the fusion dance like over here in Dragon Ball Z and turned into the most powerful Digimon ever. You're just like, what the heck, man? But they didn't. For me, Digimon Adventure kind of kept it. I was like, it kept it tolerable for me. It never got too much for me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but kind of the when like their storyline was kind of similar after a while, right? Like someone had a little bit of adversity, and then boom, the next Digi level would be achieved, and those ones you could kind of read come in like every single storyline. So it kind of would defeat the purpose of a storyline for me sometimes because you could see it, but it wasn't too bad for me.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why people started losing interest because they started off where it was mainly about cool characters, simple evolutions, and a good storyline. But yeah, every season they'd try to make it crazier and crazier, and then pretty soon it was like your
Yeah.
dog is a Digimon, and you can fuse with your dog, and then you're riding on top of your dog, and you're a Digimon too. And it's like, okay, bro, y'all, now it's too crazy. You got too many
I think
ingredients in the pot.
I think they had a problem more with kind of like Pokemon is they just introduced so many Digimon too. And then like each new cast, which kind of I think why Pokemon lasted kind of might be a little better is because they stuck with Ash quite a bit.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they brought in like new side characters with him, which I wish they kind of developed more with that original crew. But Digimon, they kept bringing in new people constantly and new Digimon, and you're just like, it's a whole new story, but like the same story. You weren't really. It was hard to get interested in it. Like if you're gonna do the same stuff, I would rather you just, for me personally, I'd rather them develop more on Ty and Matt and the whole OG crew. Izzy, my boy Izzy, Joey.
Yeah.
What was it? Me, and what's Sora? That's the
Mimi and
OG crew, right?
Sora.
And then the yeah,
That's a good
but they
point,
get
though. Like, if you start with the OG 6 Digimon trainers or whatever you call them, and then the Digimon
yeah,
themselves, you could do a whole arc around each one. You don't have to keep
exactly.
throwing in new stuff. You could just build up their individual storylines.
Exactly. Right? Because
Yeah.
you imagine if they were each given like, of course they have like their whole like the overall stories about them developing has their teamwork as a crew, but then how much more attachment, how much longer that anime could have gone on if they each had more like side stories, where it kind of like maybe 4 or 5 episodes it just focused purely on this one, and then built them up big time and all that good stuff, but. They just said they would just kind of go on to the next crew, like, all right, let's bring in another 4 new people. Okay, let's bring in 6 this time. And you're just like, man, I just got attached to these boys. But now what I'm attached to is not there no more.
Yeah, and they tried to do that with the movies, kind of like the what is it? Digimon Adventures the Tri series movies. They're
Yeah,
all the original cast, but yeah, I think it would have been better if they would just stuck with the original. What was it? 6 kids or 8 kids, and then yeah, you could have been like I mean, you don't want to go as long as One Piece, but yeah, you could have done it like One Piece, like Nick was saying. Every season, you could have had more character growth, more development, because those were really the best characters. I mean, I think arguably every new season of Digimon, the characters got worse. I would say.
And I don't know if that decision was made just from a business perspective. Like maybe they were doing that because if you introduce new monsters, now you can make new plushies, new toys, whatever, and just pump that out to the different markets.
And
do
I
you
mean
know how
that.
many episodes they had? I'm just curious. I don't know if you guys know off the top of your head. I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Well, I think on. Let's see. Okay, so they had how many seasons was this? It's 9 seasons, and they average about 50 episodes a season. So what is that? 9 times. That's like 450 episodes almost.
Is
I
that
mean,
what they had?
Looks pretty solid.
It's a lot of content. I think, but yeah, I think like Nick was saying, I think that maybe that was a part of their decision making because though it hasn't been as successful as Pokemon, they actually have pumped out a ton of merchandise. I mean, there's quite a few Digimon video games, a lot of Digimon. I remember as a kid, you don't really see them anymore, but like growing up, there was a ton of Digimon toys. If you go to Toys R Us or something, I mean, they did have a pretty good run.
So I'm looking up Digimon Adventure episodes. This one has 54. Is that just one season?
Yeah, that's just the first section. So that's just the original Digimon Adventure.
Oh,
And
okay, that's the one I was curious about. Yeah, they probably have a grip load as like overall total, but I was just curious how much they got with that like OG crew in.
Well, because it looks like so season 7, they had Digimon Adventure Try. I think that one's on Crunchyroll. So I think that was the original crew, and then Nick, the one you saw was that was one that came out in April, right? Digimon Adventures.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to
So
check. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check those out because maybe it does build on more of them. The OG crew. Maybe we'll bring
Yeah, and
back
it
some good
modernizes
memories for
it
me.
so they have up to date technology, tablets, computers, that sort of thing.
the
You guys
kids are
ever
out.
buy any games? Do you guys ever play any games with Digimon? Like video games or anything?
Yeah, back when shoot, our listeners probably won't even remember this, but back when we had Blockbuster, I used to go to Blockbuster and I would go rent a Digimon there was some Digimon game on the PS2. Oh, it was garbage. It was pretty terrible. But just being a Digimon fan, it was like, all right, this is pretty cool.
Blockbuster always had a unique smell to it. It smelled like mothballs combined with BO and
Yeah.
broccoli or something.
Yeah. And then like a faint hit of like popcorn buttery smell. Yeah, man. I miss Blockbuster, man. Those are good times. I go back to Digimon on the video game. It's called Digimon Rumble Arena. Oh, that thing was honestly one of my favorite games to this day. And I think it was PlayStation 1, man. That's how far back it was, if I remember correctly. But it was just, one-on-one battles about, gosh, me and my siblings used to get down on that. And you could digivolve all that during the fights. So you'd have to be like strategic when you digivolved because you wouldn't stay in your evolved form forever if you were getting your butt whipped. But man, there'd be some good scraps right there and some good stages. Think of kind of like how Super Smash Bros is. Like there's some of their original simple like OG the stadiums they had.
Oh
Where
yeah.
it'd just be like one small platform and like two things to stand on, or maybe like four. That's how it was. But then you would just fight with all the Digimon in there, and man, it was such a good game. I wish I gotta dig up my PlayStation and find that game, see if it still works.
And I think that's something anime production companies can exploit a lot more. Because right now they just kind of use video games as a means to fund their next season. But if they actually got a legit video game developer on some of these and made like a Smash Bros type game or like an all-in single story type open world of Dragon Ball Z, something like that would be legit.
They definitely could put a little more time into them. I know you guys played Ninja Storm with Naruto. That might be one of the best like anime games I've ever played. But
oh yeah, Ninja Storm goes hard.
But even still, in Ninja Storm, they had like these weird transitions between camera views that didn't quite lock on properly. Like there's still a lot of quirks to it.
Yeah, because then you got Jump Force 2, which they kind of try to do has like a Smash Bros type of deal, but it's just not the best quality.
No, they're always just a little bit off with Jump Force. It's just not quite right.
But yeah, Digimon Rumble Arena, man. I wish they like had a modern day game of that, but that was a sick video game, man. It was so fun. And like I said, right, because that was like right there when all those like when Dragon Ball Z's were like really good video games and everyone would play Dragon Ball Z games. That's another game I always played too, and it was just it was so good and just so fun to play that one for hours and hours, like every single day. That one goes down and that one goes down on the wall, you know what I mean, as one of the greatest for me. It was sick.
Did you play Dragon Ball Fighters, the one that came out a couple years back?
Actually, I missed that one that came out a couple years. The last Dragon Ball Z game I played. It's been a while, man, but when they had the Nintendo Wii, when they came out with, what was it? Was it Dragon Ball Z Kai, or what's that series they always would come out with every single year?
Oh, yeah. Dragon Ball Z Kai, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like that one on the Wii, and that one was kind of cool because it had like the same mechanics as like the ones on the PlayStation 2 and 3 when they came out. And then this one came out on the Nintendo, but you had like your little nunchuck with the Nintendo, so you kind of like could have a little more movement and stuff. That was all right, but I wasn't like super sold on it. But that was the last time I played a Dragon Ball Z game. So it's been a while. I need to find something.
I had the very first it was Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1.
Budokai, that's what I was thinking of.
Budokai, let's go. It must have came out it would have been like 2000 maybe. It was on the PS2. Oh man, it was so hard. I mean, to do like a Kamehameha wave, you'd have to press 15 different buttons, turn around, twerk, do a handstand. But it was fun though, just going Super Saiyan.
So like the very first like Dragon Ball Z games that ever came out, and we're just gonna get into the Dragon Ball Z anime since we're on this topic now.
Let's get it.
But the first Dragon Ball Z games that ever came out were exclusively sold in Japan for the PlayStation 1. And I remember me and my siblings, we all had to I don't know, I think it was my older brother who pretty much put all the money in, or we tried saving up and pitched in or something. I can't remember how it went. but we had to essentially get our PlayStation shipped to Japan to get this certain chip inserted that would allow us to play these Japanese video games. Everything was in Japan in Japanese language too, but we got these three games, man. Oh man, the hype behind it was they were so good. They were such good games. It was freaking sick, man. We had freaking like a Dragon Ball just like kind of like a battle royale type of one where you could pick like multiple characters and you're all fighting each other and they're at once. You had one-on-one battles like kind of like Dragon Ball Z. It was like essentially the first Dragon Ball Z Budokai, but I don't even know what it was called before that. But I remember it had like Goku in his GT outfit on the cover. With that like blue
Yeah.
suit on it with this brown belt. It was sick, man. And then there's and I remember we got some Gundam games like those too that you had to have that specific chip in them to play. The unfortunate part is, when you play a little too much video games and you neglect chores and you end up fighting about it and stuff. Yeah, we got in trouble and somehow our PlayStation ended up breaking and we couldn't play those games ever again.
No, that's commitment to the cause, though. If you got to find a specific dealer to ship your PlayStation to another country just to play a video game.
It was, if I could relive and go back in that moment, I would, man. But it is, so those probably are my favorite anime games of all time, and probably will never be able to play them again, unfortunately. Those were good days, boys. Good days.
I mean, Dragon Ball Z has had to have had more reiterations of a video game than any other anime. I mean, it's insane. They had like 12 Budokais, and then they started off on, they had Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Dragon Ball Z Fighters. I mean, they have to have had like maybe 50 different, no, probably more like 100 different Dragon Ball Z video games.
So for the new age kids who are growing up on One Piece, do you have them watch Dragon Ball Abridged? Or do you have them go through the entire series? Like how do you start the path into getting into Dragon Ball if you're new age wave?
Oh, I feel like a lot of people would be disappointed in Dragon Ball Z because they don't have like the best like story development and like character build up. You know what I mean? What you do get with Dragon Ball Z is there's some legendary freaking badass fighting where everyone's just catching smoke. People are dying left and right. Everyone's over here. My boy Krillin, dead. My boy Gohan, saving the world. My boy Goku, dead. You know what I mean?
Yamcha, always dead.
Yeah, Yamcha has even been brought back to life. Like, goddamn, that boy's still dead. But you just get like some legendary, just freaking fighting, man. Like like Goku just going at it like every single saga with Frieza, Cell, Boo, all the way up to Super, and that's all it is pretty much just freaking fighting. Like that's what I think. That's why it got so popular in America. You're like, what is this cartoon, man? These dudes just throwing. What is this cartoon? Like these dudes just throwing smoke, throwing hands like no one's business. Like no one, like before that, like cartoons were a lot more casual. You know what I mean? Like our most like rated R cartoon was probably The Simpsons, and that's just because they got a little vulgar, like with their language and stuff like that. Inappropriate jokes here and there. But Dragon Ball Z was just one that's just like, boom, this dude's dead. I'm gonna kill this little guy. Hey, everyone thought Krillin was a little kid at the time. You're like, oh, they just killed a baby. But now you're like, nah, it's just a short bald dude. Don't worry about that. But I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the new kids would be into Dragon Ball Z?
I think if you start them off right, I don't think you can start them on Dragon Ball. You kind of have to go back to Dragon Ball out of respect. But if you start them on Dragon Ball Z, I mean, when Dragon Ball Z gets going, it's pretty hype. Like you start off,
it is, yeah.
Piccolo blasts Raditz and Goku straight through the chest with a special beam cannon. I remember watching that and I was like, yo, what the hell's going on here? I watched Justice League. They're like helping old ladies across the street. Then you watch Dragon Ball Z. Everyone's getting their arms blown off, legs blown off, blasted through the chest. People are like, just screaming really loud and like shaking the planet. I mean,
whole planet's being destroyed. It's like panic now. Nah, blow it up, bro. Just don't blow up Earth. Like we're good. We got plenty more where that comes from.
And then you change the channel in Cartoon Network. They have Captain Planet. He's like, let's grow a tree, guys. And then you just flip back. It's Vegeta flipping people off.
Oh, man. Right? There is just a whole new level to Toonami at night. Like I know you guys were probably watching like some of those early cartoons. I'd be watching like Billy and Mandy right before. Of course, SpongeBob was there. Maybe some. I don't even know what other cartoons were coming out back in the day. But then it's like, boom, you get ready to get home, and it's like once Toonami came on, you better put your sweatband on because the workout starts now, man. And I swear, such a good anime. But
Bro,
I feel
I
like
think that. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. I think the narrator at the end of every episode was what made
yeah.
Dragon Ball Z so hyped. He's like, will Krillin get a girlfriend? Will Piccolo get his driver's license? Will Goku finally be a husband? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. And you're like, yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Come on, you're like, don't leave it hanging, man. I want Piccolo to get that driver's license. Like, what the heck's going on here? I forgot all about that, man. That was an epic voice. It kind of, that voice was like it's like a top 10 voice for me right there, along with like the EA Sports dude. EA Sports, it's in the game. Find out next. Yeah, we'll will Krillin finally get some tail from Android? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. You're like, gosh damn, Krillin, you did the dumbest thing ever in all of Dragon Ball Z, man. You brought this android back to life.
Yeah.
You fool. What are you doing, man? And this boy still ain't getting some tail.
We're gonna go
Gosh.
find that dude to narrate your child's birth, Nogs.
Ooh. Will Lauren give birth? Find out in the next 10 hours.
Just shut up.
Right? I know. I'd be all hyped too. I'd be like, come on, I'll say this. Have Lauren, she'd be like screaming, and I'd be like, ah, man, ah. I'd like, I gotta film a video and then just put a voiceover of Lauren, like, showing herself scream, and then it's just Goku screaming Kamehameha. I'd probably get my ass whipped if I did that. I just might have to, though. I know, right? Yeah, do it for my anime people. Come on now.
Bro, do y'all remember that video that was on YouTube, like in the mid to late 2000s, where it was that kid just on a screaming for like 10 minutes, and then at the end he's like, "I am a Super Saiyan." And is this guy legit? Like, is he about to jump off the top of his house and try to like fly, or what's going on here?
Come on, though. We've all been there, man. Till this day, I tried to turn into Super Saiyan. It's like, all right, not today. Today's not the day. Or try to do Kamehameha still, or Final Flash. Like, every once in a while, I try to throw it in a destructive disc. You know what my biggest fear is? It's like, I'm over here powering up a Kamehameha wave, and I do it knowing it's not going to work. I like over there do it to Lauren. You know what I mean? My biggest fear is that it's actually going to work one day. I'm just gonna murder someone on accident. Yeah. That's my biggest fear. I'm like, what if today's the day I master it? And then it's like, gosh, I hope not. There's no way that happens.
Apartment building comes down.
Yeah, it just like destroys through like 20 buildings, and then next thing you know, I'm over here captured by the government, a big old science experiment and stuff like that.
What was your guys' elementary?
No, go ahead, Tyler.
I was gonna say, in elementary school, I think literally every day at recess, that's all we played was we pretended to be Super Saiyans. Like, we never pretended to be Spider-Man or Batman or Squirrel Girl or, F all that noise. Every single day, we pretended we were Super Saiyans and just try to kick the crap out of each other.
You know who Tyler reminds me of? Yamcha.
Get this trash out of here. Bro, you're Mr. Popo. You're just flying around in your car.
Dog. I'm Brawly over here, just a legendary Super Saiyan, all jacked.
Nah, bro, you're like you're Kid Gotenks. I'll give you Gotenks. You're like when they fuse.
Oh, you might be Chaozu, man.
Is that a short joke?
Yeah, that was a short joke.
Come on, man. Not even, dude. I'm over here chilling like Brawly on another planet, just getting yacked, ready to fight Goku type of deal.
Oh, man.
And I'm definitely Krillin. Just dead.
Hey, Krillin ends up with Android 18, so you're good, Nick. I know.
Krillin,
if he took one victory, that's the victory right there.
This dude caught maybe one of the biggest victories ever, man. Risks everyone's life, does the dumbest move ever in anime, possibly. and over here gets the lady. He pulled some crazy stuff, man.
The
That's for
concept
sure.
as a kid I liked a lot was the whole concept of training under a certain X gravity. Like that whole
Oh,
idea
yeah.
of, yeah, I can go into 100 times gravity. I'm going to power up right now. I'd go in my room, do push ups, sit ups, like
Yeah, I know
thinking I'm at
exactly.
5 times gravity.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z. I watch it. Always gets me want to working out, man. Like you said, doing push-ups, whatever it may be. Well, over there doing one finger push-ups, they're like 10,000, over 10,000 gravity, 10,001. You're like, what the heck, man? Chill out. Ain't no way. And then they turn into Super Saiyan, and then they're doing like 20 million. You're like, oh, well, what's the point of that crap, man? Get out of here. What's your guys' favorite saga out of all of Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball or even Dragon Ball GT or going up to the newer ones now too?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the original Saiyan saga when the Z fighters show up and they're like, "All right, bro, we've been training, we've been doing CrossFit, we're about to defend the planet," and then the Cybermen come in, kill Yamcha, he's dead, and then
That's why you're
Yamcha,
that's why you're
super
Yamcha.
and then Nappa comes out just bald, wearing speedos, and just literally murders everybody. You're like,
I was gonna
okay,
say they
there's
all
Goku.
get mopped on. They
You
all
would
get
be out
mopped
here
on.
though doing the Z Fighter poses and dances. That's probably what you're doing as a kid, huh? You're all striking
Yeah.
a pose.
I'd pretend I was Tien, put my arm behind my back, try beam cannon.
Tyler was doing those Guinea Force dances.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking
That's what he was doing.
about.
Those were basically the TikTok dances before we had TikTok.
Yeah, the Guinea Force, man. Underrated. That's an underrated like villain group right there.
No,
My
I
favorite.
compare them to like the butt jiggle gang. They put them on the same level.
Oh gosh,
Man,
the
put some
butt
respect on
jiggling.
it. Put some respect on it, man. What about you, Nick? What's your favorite saga out
It's gotta
of
be that
everything?
Frieza arc. Because as a kid, I ain't never
Oh,
seen
yeah,
something like that where they literally start destroying the entire world with their fight.
yeah. Whole new level type of deal right there.
That was
Um,
nasty when they were trying to fight Frieza. It took so many dudes to kill Frieza. Like first, okay, you've got Vegeta, Krillin, and
smoke,
Gohan. They
smoke,
get smoked.
smoke.
And then Piccolo's like, all right, I just absorbed Nail. Let's go. He gets
Yeah, no.
he just
Yes,
gets
man.
shot up.
Man,
Yeah,
this dude over here build up that power up. They're like all sad because he's dead, and then Piccolo gets molly. He gets mollywopped too, man. Get out of here, Frieza said. Oh man,
Bro,
Vegeta over here. Oh, Vegeta, you think Vegeta's actually legit until he has to get mollywopped by Frieza? You're like, this dude talks the biggest game in anime, has the biggest ego, and he just got smacked. Like, holy moly, man. Like, what is this stuff? I gotta agree with Nick though. I think Frieza's that whole just build up to, fighting Frieza and then him maybe the most epic transformation ever in all of anime is him turning Super Saiyan. I think like
oh,
all that combined together was kind of put that whole saga over the top for me specifically.
If you look
You
at
know who
the
Tyler
Dragon
is?
Ball community, though, the Cell arc is probably more heavily
Yeah,
regarded.
that was such a
yeah.
good one. No, I was gonna say Tyler reminds me of a great Saiyan man as well too.
Bro, get the heck out of here. You know what? You're Videl. You're Great Saiyaman's girlfriend. How
Oh
about
man, at least she's not a chump like Great Saiyan man.
that?
Oh no. I think definitely going back to that Cell arc though, they had like a really good like emotional like aspect to it when Goku dies, right? And they did that whole father son type of like thing. They really built that up. They really built like Goku finally because this dude gets the like the most heat about being a terrible father, which I mean I don't know if anyone could really argue that. That's for
Yeah.
sure. But this dude, they finally build him up, like really him taking Gohan under his wing, training him, getting him like really super strong, and then over there, essentially, even though he put everyone in that situation, sacrificing himself for the whole planet. You know what I mean? That's a scene that always just runs back in my head, and I'm over there always tearing up when he has to he got to do his instant transmission and get Sal away from everyone, and Sal blows up before he blows up the whole planet, man. But then he takes it to King Kai's place. That's the biggest weasel move ever. It kills all of them. Oh man, my boy Goku, I swear, man, he's never thinking, man.
No, Goku, he makes Luffy look like a straight A student. I mean, he's maybe the dumbest MC in anime.
And he's like so strong that you tend to forget about it, but then you realize like the shit he pulls. You're like, this dude kills King Kai. What was the monkey's name? The monkey and the cricket again. Like, gosh dang it, for no dang reason, man. Intentionally put his son in danger, trained him up. But I don't care what anyone says. Goku, hands down, is one of the GOATs as far as MCs go in all of anime, man. This dude is a beast.
He's one of the GOATs, but one of the worst moments in Dragon Ball Z is when he throws Cell the sensu bean. You're like, bro, are you trying to save the planet, or what are you doing here? And basically, that leads to him dying, King Kai dying, Gohan almost dies. Who else? Oh well, Android 16. He died like way before that. But yeah, that was a poor decision, my boy.
Oh man, yeah, that was probably worse than Krillin saving Android. Was it Android 17, right, or 18, whatever it is, whatever she is. Man, these boys taking L's. That's how you knew they grew up together, man. Master Roshi should have trained them better. Like, what the hell are both of those guys doing? Come on now, what is this stuff? You know what other? I mean, Goku's such a fool, man. But you know what's another epic transformation is when he turned Super Saiyan 3. That was pretty legit when he was fighting Majin Buu.
Blue Saga.
Yeah. I wish he was in the dead, though, because then it's like, oh, my time's up. I'll see you guys later. You're just like, oh, what? Come on, bro.
Yeah. You're like, oh, your Uber had to come pick you up or what? Dude, we're getting killed out here. What are you doing?
I just want to show you me going Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. Okay, let's fight a little bit. All right. See you later. What's that meme or that meme where it's like, I'm gonna head out. That was Goku letting everyone else, letting everyone getting ready to get roasted and die again. You're like, oh man, everyone's gonna get freaking murdered again. This is freaking Sal 2.0 all over again, man. Who's gonna stop this guy?
So you finally go out, you search all the corners of the earth, get all the Dragon Balls together. What are you wishing for?
Oh shoot.
Because if I was gonna pick that, I would just be like, all right, make me true legendary Super Saiyan right now, Super Saiyan 5. Ooh. Can you do that? You just like power yourself up through a wish?
I think, yeah, there's rules behind it. I can't remember how it goes exactly. I don't know if you, all I know is you can't wish for someone dead. Because remember that one homeboy, that short bald dude, couldn't wish Goku dead, but he wished Goku would be a kid again. Mm-hmm. I have to look up the rules again, but no rules prohibiting, man. Or yeah, I wish I'm a Saiyan. I think I'm wishing I'm a Saiyan too.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
I'm gonna be that little pig guy, and I'm gonna wish for the softest pair of panties ever. You remember when he does that in Dragon Ball, where they're like what's his name, Arlong or whatever? Or not Arlong, but they're like,
not Arlong, that's Luffy.
Yeah, they're like, all right, bro, make a wish, and he's like, all right, I wish for the softest pair of panties ever, and they're like, are you serious right now?
I forgot all about that.
That's why there was just like 5 seconds of silence right there. You're like staring at Tyler, like trying to comprehend.
You're like, this is some weird stuff Tyler would wish for. Oh man, if I was Tyler, I'd wish for not to ever have an ACL torn in my life again.
Yeah, that's a pretty good wish. I would have made it a lot farther in football with that.
Exactly. Oh man, yeah, I think because I'm assuming, right, if we have Dragon Balls, we're in the Dragon Ball Z world. And if I found them, I want to be Saiyan for sure. Because then I'd have power, you know what I mean, to go find them again and get some more wishes after a while.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you just wish yourself as a Saiyan, that takes care of most of your problems. Like, you stay young for forever. You get stronger after every injury. You can fly. You could change your hair color if you want. I mean, that's like 15 wishes in one.
You know what we need to figure out how to do is create some capsule. It's a capsule corp, right? You know how they have
Yeah.
those little capsules that turn into like whatever. We
Those
need
are
to figure out
dope.
how to do that in real life. Imagine, oh, let me toss this pill out, boom, car right there ready. Oh, let me toss it, boom, camping gear already set up. Like, you'd probably be the richest person in the world if you're able to figure that out.
Even if we
You'd
got
also probably,
sensu beans, like little food
oh
pills
Oh
where you could
man.
just pop in and you're good for the day. That would
yeah,
help out quite a bit.
that'd be legit.
I feel like a sensu bean would taste like a pistachio. You know what I'm saying? It's got that green tint to it. Just spray paint some green pistachios. Let's just call it good. We got our sensu beans.
I think more like a lima bean. I think it looks more like a lima bean than a pistachio.
Oh no.
No, he says.
No, don't ruin my childhood. I just remember watching it growing up and I just thought they tasted so good. I was like, man, I just want some sensu beans just to snack on while I'm watching some TV.
No, I mean, hey, we got. We should have talked about that when we had our food podcast. But like one thing you wish you could eat out of an anime would. I think we did talk about it, but I didn't even think about a sensu bean. That would have been legit. Imagine I'd get in a fight just to see if it works. Like just intentionally get beat up by like someone, and then like, oh, I'm all gonna toss the sensu bean in. And in real life, I'd probably still be all beat up. It'd probably just be a caffeine pill that gives me
Yeah.
the energy boost, and I'm just
Yeah.
over here bleeding out my nose still. But I wish there was something like that. That'd be
Knowing me, I'd
sick.
take it and I'd just be on the toilet for like straight 24 hours. It
Yeah.
just messes up my stomach.
Ah,
Yeah.
he's over there doing the Kamehameha wave on the toilet.
Just gives you straight stomach cramps.
Who's your guys' favorite villain in Dragon Ball or Z or throughout all the Dragon Ball series?
Mm. I mean, I guess you don't really count Vegeta as a villain because he kind of
He was a
redeemed
villain
himself.
early on, I think. Yeah, you could count him if you want.
Uh,
But you get the Vegeta who get his butt whipped. You know what I mean? That's the Vegeta you get. You don't get the cool Vegeta now.
no, okay, then I'll probably go with Frieza. I would say
Frieza was a good one.
Frieza. He was pretty dope, and I liked his mentality too. Like just he was like the Saiyans are trash. You guys are just little monkey boys. I'm about to blow you up. And he just
Talk
straight up
about a straight
destroys their planet.
talk about a straight savage, huh? Just going around destroying planets and mollywopping the whole race and kills all the Saiyans, right? And then he gets them to like follow his orders too. You're just like, holy shoot, man. Who is this dude?
You sure you didn't
Like,
want to pick Garlics Jr.?
Garlic
Yeah.
Jr.
That is Tyler's favorite. I think Frieza, I lean towards Frieza too, still for me.
Yeah.
Him and Cell are kind of up there. But Frieza, because he was like more of a savage, and you're like, oh, this dude needs to die, man, or else he's going to kill everyone again.
I think Boo was probably. I mean, the Boo fights were those were the fights where you felt like everybody was gonna die. You were like, how are you guys gonna kill Boo when this fool gets blasted into like pieces of bubble gum when he puts himself back together? But he just didn't really have the same
Yeah.
kind of. He didn't have the same personality as Cell and Frieza. He just basically wanted to eat food and kill everybody.
Yeah. He wasn't like crazy evil until he started absorbing some of the androids. Like Fat Boo was just like the chillest dude, man, the chillest villain.
Yeah.
He was just like, what? With his little squeaky voice? Candy?
When he was just hanging out in the house with his dog and Mr. Satan, you were like, oh, okay. This dude, he's pretty
Just
cool.
chill,
He's
yeah.
just trying to have a good
Oh, that's
time.
who Tyler is. Tyler's Hercule in Dragon Ball Z.
Hercule
Nah, boy, you're
Dude,
Hercule's
that's
dog.
the
You're that dog that gets
boy,
shot by
you're
those
Hercule, man.
gangsters.
running
That's
away
like
from
the
fights.
best character. Hercule describes you the best,
Oh, that
man.
was hilarious
That's
when they're fighting
great.
in the Cell Saga and they bring like those 6 WWE guys and they just all get
Yeah.
bodied by Cell.
You know how Hercule's hiding the whole time. It's funny that he ended up getting all the glory for defeating Sal. It
Yeah.
was hilarious. Oh man, if you think about though how cool it'd be to be Hercule like in real life, like essentially you're the strongest human, right? And then you have like all the fame, like you'd be like the strongest UFC fighter because that's how good this dude was, probably, and have all the fame. This dude obviously looked kind of wealthy in the anime, so even if you weren't a Saiyan, if Saiyans didn't exist, Hercule would be like the strongest dude ever.
But do I have to have that mustache and that afro?
Ooh.
Because that's a pretty terrible look. Oh,
uh,
what do
what do you
you?
guys go ahead? Sorry.
I was gonna say, what do you think was the most epic moment or most epic like attack in all of Dragon Ball Z?
Most epic attack?
Yeah, or it could be
Ooh.
moment, could be someone's death, someone's transformation, their attack, like the
So
most.
I think epic moment is definitely Goku transforming. In my opinion, is Goku going Super Saiyan 1. Planet Name's about to burst up, and this dude finally decides to turn the switch on and reach that like legendary, status that only seemed like a myth to everyone, and something that Vegeta was striving to do. Him turning Super Saiyan 1, saving the defeating Frieza, saving essentially everyone else, and getting out of there on time was epic. And then I think my most favorite like attack, more or most like epic attack too, was the father son Kamehameha. When Goku over there, of course he dies. He kicks the bucket in the legendary way, and then he over there helping out his son. His son only has one arm. My boy Gohan over there chilling Super Saiyan 2, battling Cell, and then this dude's like spirit or whatever comes over here and like, come on, Gohan, push. And then they're like, ah, for the win, man. That was sick. That part was awesome.
That was pretty legit.
I'm a big
What about
fan
you?
of Piccolo, so I like seeing that
Yeah,
special being canon.
Yeah,
Good to
that's a good
see
one.
that. That's legit.
That,
bro. When Piccolo when he saves Gohan from getting murdered in the Saiyan saga, that was legit. I was like,
Hmm.
no, our boy Piccolo.
and I'll never forget Piccolo was evil too. That could have been a
Yeah.
villain
Yeah.
we picked. That dude was a straight savage too, man. Ah,
I'm gonna have to go with. I think most of my favorite moments in Dragon Ball Z are uh, connected to Vegeta. So I would have to say Vegeta's final flash when he hits
oh,
Cell,
don't do
when
it.
Krillin's crapping his pants, Trunks is getting scared, and Vegeta's like, "Final flash!" and just blows Cell in half, almost destroys the planet, and then definitely when he sacrifices himself against Fat Boo, that was dope.
Oh no.
No.
You know what's sick? One of my favorite fights is when Majin Vegeta fights Goku, and
That was
these two dudes are scrapping. But then he like felt bad for Vegeta because he's like, "Yeah, I finally caught up to Kakarot, blah blah blah." And then he goes over there, sacrifices himself fighting Boo, dies, and then he finds out that Goku goes Super Saiyan 3, and he's like, "Damn it, this dude over here played me, man. This guy played me, made me look stupid. I thought I beat him, and he's over here Super Saiyan 3 chilling, man." Gosh, damn it! Like this dude's a oh man. Kind of going back to that poll. That's on like what Naruto and Sasuke might have been the better rivalry, because then Goku pulls stuff like that, and you're like, come on, man, you're supposed to let your rival know how strong you are. This dude just messed with him the whole time.
Yeah, Goku
Uh,
just stays playing games out here.
just curious, is this any of your guys' favorite anime of all time? No,
Nope.
no, it doesn't hit the list.
I think it,
Not
it
quite for
was
me.
it was for me until I started One Piece, and then I think One Piece is just too incredible. Dragon Ball Z doesn't have the story to keep up with something like One Piece.
There's definitely
You
a
guys,
nostalgia effect there that plays a lot into it, but yeah,
that's
it's
like,
not up there.
yeah, it catapults that anime so high for me. Is it because that's what we grew up with? If you guys gave it like a rating, what's on our CBA or S, what would you guys give it, or number or letter, whatever you guys want to rate it with?
It's definitely like an A class
A
anime.
class.
Uh, just the execution of the fighting style, the story development and as far as the amount of filler that's there, it's not quite up there for me, but it's still a solid anime, right?
Yeah, Tyler.
You know what? I gotta say, I see a lot of people online try to say that Dragon Ball Z is mid. Bro, disrespect. You gotta think about
Oh,
Dragon Ball Z. With Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z were both in the 80s. That's 30 years ago. 30 years
yeah.
plus. You know what? For 30 years plus, I got to give Dragon Ball Z. I say it's S class. I mean cuz if you when you compare it to what else was around that time, there was like a little bit of Sailor Moon, there was some
Right.
Gundam and stuff, but at the time the plot, the build up, character development, fights were just in a league of its own. So
It is.
for
Even to
for
this day, I think the fights are in the league of its own.
oh yeah.
I agree with you on that. I got to go with S with Tyler too, man. I think I think normally it might be an A for me if I wasn't so emotionally like just drawn in and attached to Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, man, because this is I remember watching Dragon Ball like 90s, like what Tyler said. Dragon Ball Z, late 90s, early 2000s, like just kind of grew up with that ever since I was growing up. So the fights, there's hardly any animes that do have better fights. Of course, like you have like some of the big animes where they have like the big boss battle fights, but like on a constant, consistent basis, Dragon Ball Z puts out just insane fights, has a good rivalry in it, between Goku and Vegeta. The MC Goku in general is just, he's a beast, which I love, and then he has some like quirkiness to him where he's kind of like, like a funny, stupid type of deal. They have good, surrounding characters. They don't have much character development or like a true storyline. It's just more like who's the next bad guy, which kind of does hurt it.
Yeah.
Like you see why Nick gives it an A, but I'm gonna have to give it an S too, man, because it's one of the goats in my opinion.
Yeah, and because I think if Akira Toriyama, if he was, I mean, he has Super, but I think Super was just kind of more just to give people more stuff. But I think if he was starting Dragon Ball Z scratch today, like obviously the story would be better because of the peers he has to compete with. But when you take the Dragon Ball Z story in the 80s, it was a pretty awesome story. So I think some
It was.
people they're hard on Dragon Ball Z because they try to compare it to like Attack on Titan. Bro, Attack on Titan came out in 2013. Like it's almost 25 years after Dragon Ball Z came out.
Changes, huh? That's for sure. Cool. Any final thoughts on Digimon or Dragon Ball Z for you guys? Go watch them,
Both,
right? If you haven't
both,
seen them, go watch them.
yeah, they're both legendary. You gotta give them
Yeah,
respect. Go give them a watch.
I think the new
cool.
Digimon series is worth the watch. 40 some episodes. You can go binge it in a week or in a
Binge
day,
it. Yep.
depending.
Cool. And all you listeners out there, reach out to us. Let us know who the best Dragon Ball Z character is. Dragon Ball, whatever series it may be from. Who your guys' favorite Digimon is. Let us know if we're trash today. Let us know if you really think Tyler's Hercule. You know what I'm saying? Because that's important too. But I think both great animes, right? That kind of hit close to all of our hearts, and that we'll probably always talk about from time to time. And we'll definitely probably be referencing these a lot in our future podcasts to come because that's how good and how much we know about these animes. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to give us suggestions or questions, or you want to catch this smoke, you can find us
Ooh.
on Instagram at FAT Boys, BOIS Anime, Fat Boys Anime. On Twitter, we are Fat Boys, BOIS Anime 1, just the number 1, no spelling. Also on TikTok, Fat Boys, BOIS Anime. So, don't try to say nothing crazy. Don't be calling me Hercule because I'm going to light you up. But yeah, if you got suggestions on there, you got suggestions, you got questions, you got recommendations for maybe what we should debate next time or whatever, just let us know.
I have a great poll idea. Who is Tyler mostly like? A. Hercule. B. Yamcha. 3. Chaozu.
For
Or four
Hercule.
Krillin.
No.
Or four. There you go.
All right,
Oh,
boy.
man.
We'll throw it on there. We'll see what they say. And then I'm gonna slip in a number 5 slot from Broly. Don't play no games with me.
Broly. They call me Swoley. All right.
Okay.
They call me Swoley, son. Put respect on it.
All
Cool,
right,
man.
all
Well,
right.
thanks for your guys' time today, man. We look forward to seeing you guys again, man. We have some good topics coming up, so tune in
Next week.
next
On
week.
Fat Boys Anime. All right, catch us later.